Co-host Tammy Bruce in Los Angeles and Fox News contributor Dr. Keith Ablow joining us from Boston. A great group. Thank you all for coming. Alan, first to you. Do you agree with Kucinich and Michael Moore that the president's guilty of treasonable offense? Or
no, I do not. You'd have to apply that to almost every president. Almost every president since Vietnam has gone into some military action without. And by the way, the president did consult Congress within 48 hours. He sent them a letter. They now have 60 days according to the 1973 Act.
Yeah, but Anthony Weiner and others say that's not enough.
Well,
it should have gone for the War Powers Act.
I'm not. Apparently, according to the 1973 law, he does not have to do that. So,
all right, but Tammy, I mean, there is some deliciousness about the fact that the War Powers Act. It was the liberals that were screaming for the War Powers Act, and now they've got a Democratic president who seems to be violating it.
Well, yeah, and it not only seems to, is. I'd love it. I guess I can declare war on Mexico if I send Congress a letter. So I guess maybe I'll just get that going right now. You know, really, this is the real point, is the hypocrisy, the real craven hypocrisy. Yes, Alan's right that the presidents have always tried to, manage their own individual power, but at the same time, don't run on saying that a president shouldn't do this and then go in and do it. I mean, this is what Americans are tired of.
And Dr. Ablow, I'm one who believes that the president has specific powers, including commander-in-chief. I never have been that crazy about War Powers Act. I think we respect the president enough to give him a lot of those powers, but here we have a president who says he's for the War Powers Act and seems to be going against it.
Well, David, that's the problem. We need to know what our president believes and what he does not. If he wants the UN to be a de facto Congress to which he must go for permission to act, he should say so, that that's his belief. Let the public support him or not support him based on that.
Well, Alan,
so I think he needs to be clear.
He's got 60 days now, according to the law, to either get out or ask Congress for money. That's what the law says.
What does he want? What is his? Does he want? Because
I'm not his press secretary.
We have to know. We have to know.
I know.
And he said two things directly contradictory. One, he said we don't want regime change.
Correct.
And then he was talking with the head of Turkey, the Turkish prime minister, saying we need to install a new leader. That sounds like regime change.
I agree. It is confusing. We also need to know what the end game is. The Powell doctrine: go with overwhelming force, know what the end game is, have an exit strategy. How do we know when we're done? And I'm concerned about that.
Doctor, I cut you off. I just want to ask what it does to the American people and their feelings about our commander-in-chief when they hear contradictory evidence.
Well, it takes away that lingo, commander-in-chief. Commander-in-chief. What's the mission? What's our goal here? Is it regime change or is it not? When will we be done? Why are we there? This is what a commander-in-chief enunciates, or he is not commander-in-chief. I think he's more notable for his absence.
Well, he's enunciated as
Hold on, go ahead, Tammy.
I have a suggestion. I think we would get real leadership if we just consulted the magic 8-ball, and then at least we'd get an answer. That's
just not true.
Thank you.
To say he's not a leader is ridiculous.
It is true.
You may not like the way he's leading, but it's to knock him for not being a leader.
Wait a minute. A leader is supposed to have a clear message, and even you don't know what the message is.
I think he does need to be clarified, but I don't think we need to take a low blow and say he's not really a leader.
If he can't enunciate his mission and follow through with it,
I think Tammy's statement was much too global a statement about Obama.
What's that statement? Lead, follow, or stand aside, right? I mean, he doesn't seem to be doing anything with that regard.
Well, first of all, people who disagree with Obama...
That is his specialty.
Go ahead, quickly, Doctor.
People who disagree with President Obama, according to Allen, are dealing low blows. That's not the case here. Bottom line is, a leader enunciates the story. He makes people understand the themes and act in unison. This is a failure of leadership, absence of leadership.
We have a wound-up panel, as you can see tonight, folks. We're going to see more of them coming up in the 2-minute drill, but we do have late-breaking news tonight that France wants a, quote, political steering committee to oversee Drill, Brazil drill. That's story time of tonight's 2-minute drill. Your all-star panel continues. Fox News radio host Alan Colmes, Fox News contributor Tammy Bruce, and Fox News contributor Dr. Keith Ablow. My regret about this panel, by the way, is that we didn't go the full hour with nothing but the panel.
Take it on the road.
Okay, let's do that. Next time we'll give you guys a full hour. You're great. President Obama is giving billions to Brazilian oil company Petrobras to drill offshore, while the administration remains hostile to drilling for oil off American coastline. So why is Obama giving money to Brazil to drill for oil that we would then have to import? Tammy, it doesn't seem to make sense to me.
Well, it doesn't. It looks like now that the Brazilians are going to be doing the jobs that he won't let us do. And, you know, we finally did issue a deep water drilling permit for the Gulf, and that was also to a Brazilian company. But I do hear as an exclusive that it looks like Obama's going to choose the girl from Ipanema for vice president in the next run. And I think that will really solidify a relationship with Brazil.
As long as she's wearing one of those dental floss bathing suits, that'd be fine with me. But doctor, what about ecology? The president says he's against carbon energy because it's so dirty. Have you ever seen the work that Petrobras does in Brazil or the Venezuelan oil companies? These are the dirtiest oil drillers in the world, and now we're helping them drill, creating more dirt, more ecological destruction.
Again, it makes no sense unless it makes sense. So in other words, if in fact the president doesn't wed himself to economic power here at home such that it might be worth safeguarding, but taking a moderate or minimal risk with the environment, but the economic well-being of another country is close to his heart, well, that would explain it. It would be tremendously disappointing, but it does fit.
You know, it may fit, but Alan, this is tough to explain politically.
He cares more about the economic well-being of Brazil than the economic well-being of the United States. He doesn't care about our economic well-being. Are you nuts?
You know, no, I'm not nuts at all, Alan. No, I'm not nuts at all.
Because how else do you explain? He's nuts.
How else do you become? Alan, how else do you explain somebody who says, let's be a customer to another nation that goes searching for oil? When his reasoning is he doesn't want to spoil the planet, he says.
Sorry that I spoke. You're under the impression that there's no drilling and no attempt to get oil in this country. There is drilling that goes on every day in this country. There is exploration going on. We just had a BP oil disaster. We have actual real issues to deal with.
All right. You should see how they do it down south before they think it's such a great thing that they get the contract. Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz was one of President Obama's top corporate cheerleaders when it came to health care reform, but now he is saying Obamacare's individual mandate means trouble for small business. He says, quote, the pressure on small businesses because of the mandate is too great. So are Obamacare supporters pulling back a little bit now?
That hasn't even kicked in yet, the mandate. It's also going to be a big problem for Mitt Romney, by the way, in the upcoming election. So how he's going to get out of that, I don't know. But what people have to understand, and he should have sold this better, it's an economic issue. More people in the system,
He couldn't sell it, that's the point.
But wait a minute, with the taxpayer dollars are now subsidized.
It didn't add up.
David, taxpayers are now subsidizing those who don't pay for health care. We're subsidizing them now. Everybody in the system, everybody pays in.
Tammy, he's saying that ensuring 30 million new people can be done for free. Nobody pays for it. No, he didn't say for free. He said we actually make money from the deal. Go ahead, Tammy.
Schultz has found out with Starbucks. I mean, Obamacare has kicked in like a gigantic, tall knockout latte, and this is the problem. I just got a notice from Blue Cross Anthem that my policy's canceled, and I've got to choose another one that's going to cost more because of these regulations.
Right.
What Schultz is saying is he's realized that this is going to hurt his business seriously. You know, conservatives knew this a year and a half ago, and people who drink coffee knew it a year and a half ago. Maybe you should be listening to us.
Let's talk to the doctor here. Dr. Ablow, what happened with Obamacare is it has kicked in the sense that insurers now have to insure more things. That has raised premiums to the point where it is putting a lot of businesses out of business, correct?
Absolutely, because we should be going in the other direction, allowing competition between insurers, insuring fewer things that are critical and that lead to mortality, and therefore making it more affordable for people. And Alan may not like it, but when you have a story that kind of fits all the data, like leaning on small businesses until they close because you want to redistribute wealth, asking another country to develop oil instead of us because, well, you want to redistribute wealth, then you kind of have to go with it. It seems to fit, doesn't it?
It's not only small businesses, the big businesses are hurt too. Well, Michael Moore is not alone. Bolivian and Russian politicians now calling on the Nobel Prize Committee to revoke President Obama's Peace Prize. They call the Libyan airstrikes an outrageous act of aggression, inconsistent with the core values of the Nobel Peace Prize. So, should Obama keep his prize?
By the way, conservatives like to blame him for getting it in the first place, like it's his fault. Of course they shouldn't revoke the prize. Hopefully, this mission will work out well. There'll be a humanitarian, understandable, humanitarian reason we'll all get, and they'll only enhance his having gotten the Peace Prize.
What do you think, Tammy? Enhancement or
It sounds so reasonable, Alan. Actually, I think he also should keep it. I think he should use it as a coaster because that's all it really is good for. But I want him to give back the White House. That's, oh, I know, it's so mean. So is it destroying the country. You can use it as a coaster, give back to White House.
Get back to White House. What do you say, Doctor?
What I say is this: med school comes in handy here. When you go to do surgery, you can't kill the body, the organism. You have to remove the pathology. I'm not sure what's considered here the pathology, or what will be left that is a healthy democracy in the end. And I don't hear our Surgeon General, President Obama, describing it for me.
Last word from the doctor coming up on deck. Members of Congress getting the first chance to see Atlas Shrugged. That book is about to become a hit on the big screen. The directors hope, anyway. We're going to hear from the stars, and it is actually getting some good reviews. Stick around for that. Also, it's time for Buy, Sell, or Hold. We take the names and stories of the news. We treat it as if they're stocks. Would you buy them, sell them, or hold them? Well, after James Cameron's award-winning mega hit Titanic, do we really need another Titanic project? There have been movies, documentaries, television shows, even a Broadway musical about the cruise ship. But a group of broadcasters, including ABC, are planning a Titanic mini-series to coincide with the 100th anniversary of the tragedy that killed 1,500 in April 1912. So the Titanic mini-series, Colmes.
Buy. Why not?
One
People
buy.
want it. They want to see it.
Tammy, buy. Sell.
Everything on network TV is a disaster, so I say buy anyway.
All right, Doctor, what do you say?
I say sell. I think it's been done. It doesn't need to be done again.
All right, but I'm a buy. I think it'll probably work. That's how these things go. And Scoreboard agrees with the doctor. Well, another nominee for the Dumbest Crook Hall of Shame, Keith Gruber. The 49-year-old upstate New York man showed up for his court hearing on a felony DWI charge. An hour and a half late, he was drunk, arriving at DWI drunk, carrying an open can of beer and a six-pack in tow. After the judge asked Gruber if he enjoyed his liquid lunch, the judge sent him off to jail with no bail. Doctor, what do you say about it? Obviously, these guys are sell, but, I mean, these guys are self-destructing.
Yeah, well, look, if you've been in the business as long as I have been, you realize the power alcohol has over people, and that it's an illness of character as well. So he's a good example for people that when your character is the thing, it's not whether or not you've gone to your AA meetings necessarily. It's whether or not you can summon the will not to drink.
I'm not sure.
Very
I'm not
quick.
going to attack a man's character. He's ill. He's sick. I'm not sure he has a character flaw because he's got.
No. It's a character problem too, Alan. You
got
don't
an
understand.
illness.
There's no
Tammy,
gene
we
that
gotta
makes
get
you
you
go
in
to
here
the path.
quickly,
Yeah,
Tammy.
I
Buy,
have the
sell.
answer.
Why
I have
can't
the
you get
answer.
anything right today?
Most honest criminal ever, and he's heading for much needed rehab. Buy.
All right, allowing a Florida case to be tried by Islamic law. Is that a buy, sell, or hold?
It is
Quick.
not superseding American law. It works in concert, just as Christian law does. We have Christian holidays.
Okay, doctor,
It's not-
quickly,
it's not
buy, sell, or
superseding.
hold?
Sell.
And
We have
Tammy?
our standards in this country. Let's stick with them.
It's an abomination, if I may say.
That's going to be it for tonight. We'll see you tomorrow.